All right, ladies, welcome, welcome. We're a couple minutes behind because I just goofed on the connection between Zoom and Facebook Live. So if you guys are joining us, I apologize for a couple minutes of delay. I am Violette De Ayala. I'm the founder and CEO of Femcity. And today on the show, we have this beautiful soul next to me, either left or the right, however it's showing up for you guys, Lola Linarte. She is amazing and inspirational. And when I was thinking about self-love, because that's the theme of this month, she is someone I thought of. If you don't know who she is, you're going to fall in love with her. She is someone who shares authenticity, vulnerability, true life, like behind the scenes. She is a gorgeous model. I'm going to give you an introduction so you can kind of know who she is, but I just know you're going to love the next couple of minutes as we share this Wednesday Wisdom with you. So Lola Linarte is an international model, actress, and voiceover artist. She was born in Bluefields, Nicaragua. Did not know that, Lola. And was raised in Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. Lola attended Texas A&M University, where she majored in Social and Cultural Anthropology, which inspired her to leap into media and pop culture entertainment. While in Austin, Texas, Lola hosted and co-produced a television show called Entertainment Austin. Now based in New York City, Lola has transitioned into the next chapter of her career by leading a division of Maison de Papillon. I don't know if I said that correctly.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
So good? Okay, I'm like, it sounds like that. An advanced contemporary female-founded and led clothing brand based in Manhattan. And she is amazing. So Lola, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Violet, I'm really honored that you have me on this platform, so thank you so much.
Oh, I had chills. So right before we got on live, guys, we were sharing kind of like self-love little snippets, and I already had chills. So I think the next 30 minutes or 25 minutes, whatever we have left, is going to be really inspirational. As you guys know, the theme of the month has been all about self-love. I am a huge advocate and proponent of having that self-love conversation, always inspire and lift us up and serve our greater good. And Lola is someone who lives, breathes, walks it all the time. And I felt like since her perspective is a little bit different, you know, we are not really in the limelight, even though we think we are on social media, she really is. I mean, she's on Good Morning America. Good Morning America, or Good Morning America all the time. I see so many tags when you're there. So she is literally in the spotlight all the time, and I think the self-love conversation might be even a little bit more profound from her take on life. Lola, just to get things started, what does self-love mean to you?
I really believe that self-love is individual as like our thumbprints, right? Because some people now, I feel like self-love is sort of like a buzzwordy term, which I'm happy for, because people are starting that conversation of, oh, well, you know, am I doing enough for myself? What if I am even doing anything for myself? Especially as women, we're just subjected to so many eyeballs, and we're, you know, parsed down to just our looks, and we're so much more than that. And I think for myself, more than anything now in this stage in my life, I think self-love, I'm identifying best as balance. I'm looking at things that give me comfort that is outside of what I look like. I recently saw something online that said, you know, you could do all the bubble baths, you could do all the journaling, you can do all, you know, all these self-care things, you could do our nails, but if we don't like work on what's on the inside, then it's all for nothing, right? So I thought that's so true. I think that often we ignore that, and again, we feed into that stereotype of I am what I look like, and I'm coming up from a point of balance. I'm coming from a place of self-love for myself. Is where can I find places of gratitude in my life? What gives me comfort that has absolutely nothing to do with my exterior appearance? And that's where I try to find. And from there, I find the value of myself and self-love and fill those areas of my life.
I'm in awe over you, because I also know your journey as you've created and designed your life, right? So, and I think it's important that you're starting to share that, because and you do it all the time on Instagram. That's where I generally follow you. I mean, I'm on Facebook all the time, but Instagram, I follow you more. And I think from the outsider, they look at you and they say, here's someone who just woke up and had a perfect self-love story, right? Never doubted herself, always had the positive conversation going on. And I think especially you've designed and created your life, right? You went from one life to another, and you're flourishing, you're growing, and you're prospering in that, I think that people would assume that you never had those conversations of saying, like, you can never do it, you're not worthy of it, who do you think you are? Like those things that women generally have. I think someone like yourself, when you start sharing that, again, that's why I love your Instagram account, and you do share that, and it makes everyone else feel like, you know what, we're not alone. That even people that look, you know, like their life is perfect, that you're sharing all these things, that it's always a journey for all of us. I was gonna ask you from that, what was that aha moment in your life where you started to recognize that perhaps your self-love stories and your conversations that you're having, or the things that you're telling yourself, maybe it needed a little bit of work, you know, like where you're like, I don't know if that's a good conversation to have, I need to work on that. Like, what was that? Maybe it's an aha moment or a series of aha moments, but what was that like?
It was definitely a series of aha moments. I am 1000% a work in progress. I really do believe that we can simultaneously be a masterpiece and in a work in progress. And I found myself, I was 26, I was living in Austin, and I was divorced. I was getting divorced. And this whole life that I had cultivated for myself, my whole identity was tied around being a wife. And I owned a business at the time with my now ex-husband, I'm very fortunate that we're still friends, but it started shattering every idea of who I was as a person, with everything that I had really just put together, this picturesque, perfect little life. It was crumbled. I, focused so much on my marriage that I've realized I don't really have anything else to show for myself. I have no identity. And behind, closed walls, I was so sad. I was so sad. And I remember thinking, I'm failing. But everything I've ever wanted, I had, and it's over. Well, I remember telling my mom, why is this happening to me? Why? And my mom said, Lola, because that's part of your journey. And instead of asking why is this happening to me, feeling sorry for yourself, you should be writing down what you're grateful for and pray for strength and pray for better friends. And I remember that sort of shifted because I just wanted so badly to just be in this like self-loathing, self-hatred bubble. And I did get to thinking like, I don't have strong friendships. Not that I had beautiful acquaintances in my life at the time, but being new to Austin, I just focused so much on my marriage at the time and not enough in cultivating my personal interests or being surrounded by positive purpose-driven women. And once that shifted, once I started surrounding myself with women who were wonderful at what they did, and we were talking about ideas instead of people, and we were talking about our dreams and our hopes and our aspirations and how to turn those into goals and to execute them, it just shifted everything. It just shifted beyond my little problem, and it shifted into actionable things, because I said, okay, well, that happened, what else? Because my life doesn't end with this moment. It could create something else. And that was definitely a big moment for me to just wake up, get over myself, and then create something new. Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting that we always talk about, like, it's important the people you hang around with, right? The conversation's always different. And I hadn't connected the two really about self-love and then the people that we are with. I always connect with energy, but when you said that, I was thinking that is so powerful, that the people that you hang around with the most, if they're using positive and uplifting words, it helps you to shift into using those words for yourself as well. I hadn't put those two together until like you were saying that. I was like, oh my gosh, that even helps. So, it's important to hang out with those people that are speaking and using those words, or even like the action plans that actually support your higher purpose, your higher, like all that good stuff that's within us. You mentioned a little bit about making the shift. The reason why I'm going to ask you this question is I think sometimes people might hear or watch this and be like, I've heard about that, right? Like I've heard I need to be more cautious about the words that I use, or like, understanding it's part of the journey, it's part of the process, that all humans kind of go through that stuff. Now you mentioned a little bit about the people around you, but what are some ways that you feel that you made the shift completely into having a stronger self-love conversation within yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I know that I most recently last year had another shift where I am judged solely with one of my careers in acting and modeling based off of what I look like, right? I know that they're not hiring me for my opinion and just based off of my exterior looks. And you can find yourself getting caught up in that. And I realized last year I had to have an emergency surgery on myself, and it just put me out. And I remember having a moment where I went to the mirror afterwards, and I had for a long time shifted away from how we talk about ourselves when we look in the mirror, right? We instantly want to be like, oh my God, you know, the crow's feet and this or this extra weight or whatever. I shifted the conversation to, well, what do I like about myself, right? But after my surgery, I just thought, why do I even care? My body just kept me alive. My body just protected me, right? I was very fortunate to catch, my diagnosis when I did. And gosh, I'm getting lost in my train of thought here. But yeah, just being gentler with how we talk about ourselves, period, right? We would say the most terrible things to ourselves, and I'm so guilty of this, but I would just be like, dang, you're getting old, girl, or oh my God, your roots. And that's like nice things. We would say such terrible things that Violet, I would never say some of the things I've said to myself to another human being. I would never. Right. We're so cruel to ourselves. And I think just flipping that script on ourselves, it's beyond anything I can do for myself. It's just like that one little shift of just like, you know what? You are great at X. That has nothing to do with your looks. I can just be like, you know what, Violet, I would tell you have the most beautiful eyes, right? You have the most beautiful eyes. I could tell that to myself. Yes, but it's also beyond that. What besides my looks do I like? And I'm so sorry if I'm going on a tangent, but I'm just so passionate.
No, I'm following along with you. I have chills like all over. And again, I can't even imagine, Lola, like going to those auditions. I mean, I used to audition back like years ago. Like if the fee was really high, I would show up and audition, and I would take my kids. Like my kids have been in commercials, so I have a taste of it. Not as much as you, but I have a taste of it. And sometimes it's very cruel, and you can walk away and continue that cool conversation with yourself. And I can't even imagine, because you're so successful in that world also, right? You're so successful in all these ventures that you've taken on the last couple of years, especially. Yeah. I can't even imagine how you disconnect those words or that body language or that sensation that you feel from someone who's judging you, just based on that one moment, that snippet of your time. I feel like it makes me look at you in a more impressive way, because I don't think I could do it. You know, it's a constant, like, I think you have to like recharge yourself over and over again, and then really be intentional in watching all those words, because you're in it every single day. And so I just honor you for that, because I never thought of it. Like you don't think about those parts of like hearing that or seeing that or feeling that. And it's awful. Just a little snippet that I've had, it's awful. I mean, I would leave auditions sometimes and go, oh my gosh, like I would just feel like really like I needed a break just to, with nature, and kind of connect with what's important, like you were saying, connect with what's important. And it's just part of the journey. Yeah.
No, you do. And I think that my mother's concern when I jumped into acting and modeling, because as you mentioned, I thought I was going to be a professor, right? I thought I was going to be a professor and study social and cultural anthropology, blah, blah, blah. You know, we always have very specific goals for ourselves, and then life happens, right?
Right.
Well, my mom was like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Where did I go wrong? How are you acting and modeling? Because she just saw me, the idea of
right, a certain way.
Yeah, she was like, oh my gosh, she's going to be living in New York and living in a shoebox, right?
Well, that's a whole other thing. A shoebox in New York is like $4 million. So like that's
know, she was so concerned. And, you know, for that of how is I going to live? But she was also so concerned with how people were going to speak to me. And I am so glad. I'm so glad that I've been able to develop a thick skin, right? Because I hear these terrible things, and I have posted about some of them in my Instagram, terrible things that people tell you, right?
Right.
And it is just as bad as you think it would be. You see it in the movies. And, but I think that once I started making this shift of like, I hear that and just make it so subjective. I mean, rather objective. Where it's like, this has nothing to do with me. Like, this is happening with everybody. And I actually do like, you know, that I have big shoulders, or I have a big head, or whatever, right? And reiterate those things to yourself. Now shifted into my new career, I am not afraid if I'm cold calling or I'm trying to make a deal and I get told no, because that's easy peasy. You know, that is like nothing compared to what I've ever been told. I've just such a tough exterior based off of that, you know, that other career, that it only makes me hungry to want more success. And it just, no is just the beginning for me. And it's not even the end of the world.
Love it. Yeah, you used the journey, like your mom mentioned, you used your journey to empower yourself even more.
Yeah.
Which is a great.
I think we're just often so, I think as women, we are just defined so quickly by the opinion of others, right? I mean, how can we not? But we have to start to start shifting into what matters most for us, because I think that when we are so controlled by these exterior opinions, we don't make good decisions. We're led by fear. And we often just stay in this particular lane when we have bigger dreams and hopes, you know, things that we want to accomplish, but we just get so safe and worry so much about what other people will think. And we convince ourselves of a narrative that's not our own. It's other people's.
Yeah, and most of the time it's not even real, right? We create these
things
in our mind. It's not even real. So, final advice that you have for those that are looking to dive in. We have another 11 days, or I don't even know how many, we have like another week of our self-love challenge. So we've challenged all of our members to really kind of be more intentional and increase their self-love gain. What final advice do you have for them?
Oh, I love Oprah, which by the way, gosh, I don't know if I told you this. I did not post about this, but I met her 2 weeks ago. So randomly, Violet. I'm not kidding you. I almost passed out. But I
just want to rub your shoulders. I just want to oh my gosh.
Love you.
How did it happen?
So, well, I work with Maison de Papillon, and we're based here, and the division I lead is for luxury hotels and resorts, and we sell beautiful clothes, right? So I was down in Four Seasons, New York, downtown, because I don't know if you saw that she surprised Hoda, and oh gosh, Jenna Bush, right? Yeah, so she surprised them there, but she was staying at the Four Seasons, and I'm just, you know, organizing some clothes, and I'm chatting with our spa director there, and I hear her voice, and I turn around, and I was like, ah! Anyway, I kept it real cool. She asked me the weather. I was like, oh, yes, it is sprinkling outside. So basically, we're best friends now.
Of course, and I know you, so I'm best friends with her too.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm obsessed with her, and she has this. She always has this really famous quote that she says. It's like, when things are so wrong or things are bad, right? Start with what you know, right? And if I was telling someone who doesn't know where to start with self-love, it's like what I was mentioning before. Start with what you know. What do I love about myself, right? I love that I'm weird, right? You know, I love that I am quirky, and I will make a joke, and sometimes nobody laughs, but I make myself laugh.
Hey, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And just, you'll find yourself, right? And it doesn't have to be long, because I'm always constantly moving so fast here that sometimes the idea of like a 30-minute meditation, I'm like, that is a luxury I do not have. That sounds beautiful, right? Even 2 minutes, if I'm just like, I really do like about that, it has nothing to do with how I look like, what you look like, right? We'll get stuck on that. Like, I'm a really good listener. You know, I'm a great friend. And once it starts piecing out to that, you'll find yourself like getting this like, like it almost like you're giving yourself a hug of like this like a moment of just like, yes, like you have value, you have this thing, and then you can do all like your nails and your masks and your this and your that.
Right. Yeah. I love that. Just starting with what you know and just write down. I love that, because then your mind starts going in another direction. And if you do that more and more, it becomes habitual, and then you only start seeing like good things about yourself. So it's almost like you're rebrainwashing yourself to see good things about who you are.
Yeah, which sounds so simple, but I think about, I have to undo decades and decades of bad habits that were put on me, or now it's, you know, be kind in yourself if you don't figure it out right away, or if you can't think of more than one thing, fine, you know, but that is your one thing.
Right. I love that. I mentioned your Instagram account like 150 times because I love it. How can femmes find you to follow your journey? And again, it's funny. I totally get your humor, so I laugh. So when you're posting something, you're like, I wonder if anyone will laugh. I'm laughing. I think that your humor is hilarious, and I love that you use y'all. Like you use y'all a lot.
I will always use y'all. Yeah. And I will say y'all. I'll say all y'all. It's plural.
Oh, y'all.
But yeah, you can find me at Live It Up Lola, which I have to thank a fellow femme, Giselle.
Of course it's Giselle.
Love Giselle, which by the way, that's another thing too. If you can't say anything nice about yourself too, and you're trying to do it and you can't, get a mentor. Giselle has been one of the best things that could have ever happened in my journey and transitioning into different iterations of my life. Get a mentor. And, but yeah, I think that I mentioned her because she helped me come up with Live It Up Lola.
I love it. Love it. Yeah. So Giselle, for those of you, it sounds familiar, but you don't know who she is. Giselle is one of our Femcity directors. She's also one of our global members, and she generally teaches all of our social media classes. And she's also part of our positivity tour. So she's speaking in Miami. Oh my gosh, Lola, you should come down. I'll message you later.
When is it?
It's April 18th, and we actually even fits your brand perfectly at this venue. I'll message you to see if you guys want to come down and maybe be a part of the positivity tour. We have Miami, South Texas, Philadelphia, and Toronto for 2020, but I'll message you later on that.
Beautiful.
All right.
Wow.
Lots of love to you. Thank you. We went over in time. I just want to say thank you so much. I knew this was going to be really powerful and great, and I'm so grateful to you for sharing a piece of yourself today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And just love and light to you and everyone on their journey. And I'm always, you know, just eternally grateful to you and your platform and what you do for women.
Mwah! All right, lady. I'll be in New York soon. Well, I'll message you later. I don't want to have a personal conversation here and be like, what? Exactly. All right. Bye, everyone. We'll see you back here next Wednesday. Bye, Lola.
Bye. Thank you.